This video was made possible by my patrons at patreon.com/sunnylandprods.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
We're getting close to the end of Season 2 of the Ghost and Molly McGee, which means that I think it's about time to check back in on the Ghost Chaser Chens arc. After the Unhaunting of Brighton video, we had to wait a little while before getting Welcome to ComicCon. This episode did a great job at giving us some context we've been missing as to what ghost hunter culture is all about in this world. Before this, we really only had little bits of the Chen's content and some lines like, "People think we're a joke," to clue us in. The episode opens with Molly and Oli at ComicCon, which is the Midwest's biggest and only ghost hunter convention. Scratch shows up, and Molly, of course, expresses extreme concern for his safety.
This is a ghost hunter convention, and you are, a ghost.
Relax, no one will ever know.
Scratch blows this off, which is really funny when you compare it to I Want to Dance with Some Ollie.
Ollie hunts ghosts. Forget hide me in a backpack. It's just serve me up on a silver platter to him. See? I'm camouflaged, so I can study my enemies up close.
This is about the free swag, isn't it?
Molly, of course it's about the free swag. I love all this useless junk.
I do love useless junk.
What is this, a back scratcher? Well, I don't know what it is. I'm taking it.
We're introduced to Ernie Futterson, played by Paul F. Tompkins, who moderates the internet's most popular paranormal message board. Ruben and Esther hate his guts, and Ruben reminds Esther, Ollie, Molly, and the audience that they have a secret weapon. The Phantom Canister from Halloween. Ruben and Esther revealing a bunch of Chaos Demon ghosts to a convention full of ghost hunters would obviously be really, really bad.
Scratch will be in danger!
So will Jeff with a G, and Jeff with a J!
All ghost Jeffs and their many assorted spellings!
Not that Scratch has a care in the world right now.
Ooh, I can put this tote inside my other tote. I'm toting a tote.
So Ollie starts coming up with elaborate plans to try and swipe the canister back. Molly suggests a more simple solution.
Instead of an elaborate plan to steal the Phantom Canister, maybe you could just, talk to your parents?
My parents aren't like yours, Molly. They devoted their entire lives to hating ghosts. They'd never understand.
So, while Molly and Ollie try to grab the Phantom Canister from the booth, Ernie challenges Scratch to ghost trivia, which Scratch thinks he'll easily win. There's just one problem.
Ghosts spend most of their time in
Dark Dungeon!
The Ghost World.
The correct answer is Dark Dungeons.
Booyah!
What? That's not it at all.
Nobody at this convention has a clue what ghosts are actually like. And that especially goes for Ernie Futterson. Scratch ultimately gets so frustrated that he actually reveals himself as a ghost. But nobody takes him seriously.
A costume under a costume? Where does it end? Oh, I've grown bored of you. Be gone.
I'm the chairman of the Ghost World.
With time running out and Ollie's wild plans coming down to using a chicken suit to distract everyone,
No! Not a good idea!
Molly convinces him to finally be honest with his family.
What if, hypothetically, not all ghosts are bad?
Ollie, I'm so proud of the empathetic young man you've become. But you're dead wrong about ghosts!
They are evil and must be stopped.
Showtime!
Have you ever had a loved one who's gone down a rabbit hole of misinformation and hate? Someone who, at their core, is a kind and compassionate person, but their worldview has been corrupted by people with media platforms who get rich and famous exploiting people's fears? Have you ever tried pleading with that person to see beyond everything that's clouded their judgment and they just won't do it? Because I have. And it sucks. On the surface, this episode does a really great job recreating the feeling of a small Comic-Con. But at its core, this is about a culture of hate and misinformation. And a lot of the people at this convention are just casually participating in all of it. They don't know how wrong this is or how much actual damage any of it is doing. We still don't have a ton of information on Ruben's backstory yet, but my guess is that after the scare that sent him down the ghost hunting path, he found online forums. Echo chambers that affirmed his fears about ghosts and doubled down on them. At some point along the way, he met Esther, they got married, had Oli and June, and of course, Oli and June grew up constantly hearing that ghosts were evil and had to be destroyed. And when you hear stuff like that for your entire life, you tend to accept it as fact without questioning it. Because you're just a kid at that point. Oli and June were convinced that they were doing the right thing. Oli really liked to see himself as a hero when doing ghost hunting stuff.
Don't worry, Molly. I won't stand by and let innocent book lovers be haunted. I'll rid you of this phantom. And if I happen to prove with hard, indisputable evidence ghosts exist, hey, bonus, right?
Right.
Because, again, he believed that what he was doing was for the good of everyone. So when he saw Molly with Scratch at the end of I Want to Dance with Some Molly, suddenly everything he had ever been told by his parents was thrown into question, and he had no idea how to process it. Of course, in Frightmares on Main Street, we see him double down on this in a fit of denial, convinced that Scratch has some sort of evil plan, but in that moment after the dance, I think deep down, he realizes that it's all wrong. And even when he does double down, it's clear that he never told his parents about any of this, opting to figure things out on his own.
Hey, where's Molly?
She's, walking home. With a friend.
Is there something you want to talk about?
No, Mom. Everything's fine.
This is because he cares deeply for Molly, and if there's even a chance that he's wrong, the last thing he would ever want to do is hurt someone she cares about. And once Oli realizes that he absolutely was wrong, he feels awful about it. June, on the other hand, was primarily in all of this for the science. Creating and testing gadgets. That's what she loves. By the way, I really need Libby and June to be friends. Thank you.
I now know ghosts are not a threat, but I want to understand them better. For instance, what is ectoplasm?
Some ghosts are so obsessed with their unfinished business that they become consumed by a single emotion. Just like we helped Helen Harriet find her missing toes, we need to figure out what this ghost's unfinished business is.
Anyways, that same fateful Halloween night, Ruben attempted to use June's prototype phantom canister to capture the Frightmares, even after June's insistence that it was just a prototype that wasn't ready.
I told you it wasn't ready!
Sure enough, the canister only worked because of Scratch, and June immediately realizes that something's not adding up. At the convention, after Oli fails to convince his parents, June asks,
Why would you say ghosts are good? Don't you remember Halloween?
We didn't save Brighton, June. A good ghost did.
and that's enough for June to pull a switcheroo and save the day. June's innate scientific curiosity meant that she was very open to changing her point of view when presented with new information that challenged her previous beliefs. When developing the second season of the show, Bill and Bob quickly realized that just having ghost hunters who are straight up antagonists wouldn't be all that interesting, and I think they were completely right about that. This season has given us something that's not only so much more fun and interesting, but also way more topical and relevant, and it goes back to this show's core principles of kindness, positivity, and optimism. Now, obviously, there is a 99.9% chance that the show is going to go in the direction of Ruben and Esther coming to truly realize that they were wrong, and things will wrap up nicely. That's not always how things work out in real life, but I've seen people say that they don't want Ruben and Esther to be redeemed, and, well, they're just missing the point. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it takes a while for someone to come around. Sometimes, unfortunately, they never do. But people can learn and change for the better. I know, because that's exactly what happened to me. This arc is so important to me because I relate so much to Oli and June here. I suppose it's not surprising that things shifted for me when they did, because right out of high school, we were coming up on the first presidential election I would vote in, and I don't have to tell you how awful all of that was in 2016. You definitely already know. There's a lot of kids who have grown up in situations like this, who come from conservative-leaning families that come to realize that all of that hateful nonsense they've been exposed to their whole life is just wrong. And they need all the support they can get. That's why it drives me nuts when people mindlessly hate on Oli, because they're missing the bigger picture. He and his family's arc is so much more important than Oli being Molly's love interest. Hate, fear-mongering, and misinformation is something we can overcome. Is it going to be easy to do? No. But it is possible. And it'll be worth it. Hey guys, Chandler here. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning, this video was made possible by my patrons over at patreon.com/sunnylandprods. If you like my videos and want to help me out, just $1 a month gets you access to every video I make 1 week early, as well as your name in the credits of every single video. And $3 a month gets you access to all of that, plus fun bonus content like behind the scenes stuff and outtakes. That's patreon.com/sunnylandprods.